I am going to outline a number of things in the realm of mind control, public influence, public opinion, and whatnot. Basically, the implements of both past and present forms of mind control, which is governmente, govern the mind. That's basically what it is. That's the basis of all governments, both past and present. Okay, let me begin with I'm speaking in terms of artificial intelligence. No, I'm not talking about advanced computers with advanced programming languages. I'm talking about something that's been with us since the beginning, when we started making simple tools, and we eventually learned how to speak and communicate. And there lies one of the biggest implements of mind control, both past and present, and that is language, linguistics, the way we communicate artificially with one another. Language, it's amongst the oldest forms of technology that we have. Our language, just basically infiltrates and has been slowly corrupting our natural instincts, our natural intellects, our natural motives, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Okay. Another one is music. Music has a very profound effect on our minds. Mind-altering effect on our brains. I don't need to tell you. I mean, you should kind of have some sense of how music kind of changes your mood, changes the way you feel, depending on the arrangement of the sounds, the harmonies, the phrasing, whatnot. So, and then in modern aspects, I mean, basically the same. I mean, we have all this technology to create all this music of different flavors and colors, and that's all part, and then we've incorporated music into the whole realm of commerce, making a profit and all this other stuff, gaining an audience, maintaining an audience. So, music fits in with the whole mind control in government and mental manipulation, corruption, and so forth, and all that other jazz. Another one would be, forms of art, sculptures, structures, buildings, paintings. This day and age, it's all these different monumental things we do, big skyscrapers, aircraft, all the really advanced technologies that ooh and ah us, that plays into the whole realm of, getting us to, luring us into some specific little clique, you know what I mean? And pictures of old, old ancient drawings and pictures and paintings and sculptures, that basically has migrated into, in present day terms, video, the media. You look at the television, you everything is there. Okay, you watch movies and video on YouTube or anywhere else on the other internet for that matter, and the music is there, the art is there, the linguistics are there to stifle people's mentalities, their intellects, and so forth, to draw them in to a group, draw them into a mindset. You know what I mean? In many ways, violence, poverty, crime, war, these are all, all these forms of very highly structured violence to, again, manipulate the way people feel, the way they think. They play upon our fears and our uncertainties, our aspirations, our expectations, our hopes, our faiths, our beliefs, and, a lot of organized religion does the same thing, it's been happening for thousands of years. The only difference is the level of invasiveness and the level of the way it just, we're surrounding ourselves with it, we're suffocating ourselves with it. In our schools, all of our schools, all of our educational institutions are basically controlled environments, and all the children and the adults, children, go through, 13 years of kindergarten, elementary school, junior high, high school, and then the higher learning of college and universities, which basically we're being indoctrinated into a life of slavery, mental bondage, collective mindset, conventional thinking. So you can wrap up everything that I've said so far, and basically that's what's going on today, but it's all so in your face because we're just inundated by it. We're getting bludgeoned by it every day, and we try, there is no debriefing, okay, unless you separate yourself from it, with some solitude and with, getting away from all these safety nets and bubbles of modern civilization, taking trips out in the desert, taking trips up into the mountains, stuff like that. The only problem is that more and more of these wild environments, the wilderness and everything, are disappearing because of our human supremacy and our encroachment. So it's getting harder and harder because there's just so much information out there that we need to sort out. You know, we basically have forfeited our critical thinking for, you know, all these high-profile people and these obscure but high-profile people who basically remain behind the scenes and poking and prodding, you know, so they could increase their profits and their powers and all that other jazz, and that's all part of the mix, you know. Just you got to look over every stone. You got to keep those skeptic and critical thought juices going. And it's not an easy thing to do. And it's enlightening in a sense where it's just gut-wrenching and miserable. You know, the cognizance that you need to actually observe things and decipher things on your own, absorb and interpret things on your own, when we're constantly surrounded by our friends, we're constantly surrounded by all of what we do, and we just don't give ourselves enough time to let it dissipate out of us to where we can actually think on our own, respond on our own, and we're basically in a virtual prison. That's really an actual prison if you think about it. I mean, look at everything that we've done just in recent history, and then all the parallels with past histories, you know, all the sciences that we've accumulated, all the different the artifacts, the raw material and the raw empirical data, you know, the artifacts, the old writings and stuff like that. You know, there's just a lot of shit out there that we need to absorb and assimilate to understand it. And if, you know, when you're busy working, trying to survive, you know, you're a slave to money, and you're a slave to the status quo and the establishment, to the state. It doesn't really matter what part of the world you're in, you know. It doesn't matter if you're in Russia, America, Africa, Europe, China. It's all the same. And it's just a cancer that's affecting this entire planet, and we need to come to terms with all of it. It's going to take a lot of love, a lot of time, a lot of just gut-wrenching hardship and misery and pain and suffering that a lot of people just don't want to deal with. And they just rather let the politicians and rather let the powers that be make all the shots and decide what's going to happen. And basically, it basically gives the powers that be the free will to shove their ideologies down our throats. You know, so all the prisons that we make to confine people with opposing views and skepticism, and out there trying to express, you know, the real truth, not just some reconfigured or revamped and rebooted version of what's going on, you know. So time's running short, you know, but it's time for me to go, so see you later.